Thank you, Catherine. It's a pleasure and an honor today for GenX to be the platinum sponsor of this particular AEG event. GenX, of course, manufactures wood preservation products and fire mesh that saves wood in the event of fire. And it's my pleasure to introduce the CEO and the founder of our company, Mr. Wes Wall. Wes, come on, stand, man, turn around. He's a shy, humble man. GenX is a global company expanding its manufacturing into the United States, and we are proud to be located in Atchison. And speaking of Atchison, I want to take a little bit of liberty because I'm up here to introduce you to Jennifer, who's not here yet, who will be here, who is our Atchison Association Business Association Director and Executive Director. And Atchison is fast becoming one of the hottest places to do business in Alberta. Whether you currently do business in Atchison or would like to do business in Atchison, I encourage you to speak with Jennifer when she arrives today. GenX is a proud member of the Alberta Enterprise Group. May I say, Catherine, and to your team, you do an amazing job in supporting Alberta businesses. And you've laid out a remarkable strategy to make sure that businesses are of high priority and in high priority in the government and both locally, municipally, and federally. And we are happy to be a part of the Alberta Enterprise Group. We can think of no better advocate than the AEG on all levels of government. It's now my pleasure to introduce our first speaker. And while I've never met him personally, we are kin by name, Cam. I don't know if it's short for Cameron. It is. I only get called that by my mother when she's mad at me. Just in case you didn't know, just a little side note here, the Gaelic, do you know the Gaelic meaning, Cam, of Cameron? It's bent nose. So I just thought I'd tell you that. It's a very important piece of information. Cam Linke is a longtime leader in Edmonton's technology startup community. Over the past 10 years, he has worked as a CEO, an investor, a community builder, a product manager, a software entrepreneur, an academic, and a developer. Past roles for Cam include the co-founder of Startup Edmonton, founder of Flightpath Ventures, CEO of TouchMetric, product manager at Nexopia.com, and founder of DemoCamp in Edmonton. Cam is a sought-after speaker and mentor and has been recognized as an Avenue Magazine Top 40 Under 40. He holds a master's degree, which was supervised by Dr. Richard Sutton and Dr. Adam White, and his research was focused on AI adapting behaviors to improve their own self-learning has been published at top conferences. Would you please join me in welcoming Cam Linke to the podium this afternoon?
All right, thank you so much for having me. I actually thought there was a Cameron Pack that we didn't talk about where the name came from, but that's all right. I didn't know it could be broken. I'm looking forward to talking to everybody, today about a subject near and dear to my heart, which is artificial intelligence and Amy. I'm actually giving this presentation in reverse of what I normally do. Normally I talk about what machine learning is and why that matters, and then Amy, and I'm actually going to talk about that backwards. Specifically to this group, because I want to talk about Alberta's opportunity and leadership in the area. So maybe just to give you an idea of who I am and why I'm here. So Amy, for those who haven't heard, the Alberta Machine Intelligence Institute, we're one of 3 centers of excellence in Canada in artificial intelligence. We were part of the launch of the Pan-Canadian AI strategy, which was really cementing and building on Canada's leadership in artificial intelligence. And we're this kind of unique group that both invests in fundamental research and training, and then make sure to leverage that knowledge, talent, and technology that gets developed into industry impact. So making sure that the thing that we tend to not always be the best at in Canada, the commercialization side of things, making sure that there's that direct bridge between the two and the direct connection between the two. Over time, we've grown places in the world in artificial intelligence. It's something just to pause that the most important technology and the most talked about technology that is influencing every government and every industry right now, we're in one of the top 5 places in the world for. And the reason for that actually dates back to the Klein era, where back in 2002, the Ralph Klein government invested in multiple centers of excellence in the province. And one of those was in machine learning, and created an organization called the Alberta Ingenuity Center for Machine Learning. And without diving too far into the history or going too deeply into it, that allowed us to attract some of the best and brightest minds from around the world to come here and to build Alberta into the place known globally as one of the top places for machine learning research, and specifically for an area called reinforcement learning. In the last 5 years, that's been something that's accelerated quite a bit, with both the federal government and provincial government continuing to invest really heavily in the area. And what that means for us is going from those 4 researchers to a core group of 10, 3-4 years ago, growing that group to 25, and being on pace to have over 50 core researchers in our group has positioned us to be not just one of the top places, but the top place for artificial intelligence in the world. At the same time, that growth on the commercialization and on the industry side has followed a similar path, where initially we say less than 10, I think it was 2 industry partners we had back in 2017 to in 2022 we worked with 107 companies, and we're on pace to work with 250 a year by 2026. So continued growth, both the research and the commercialization side paired together, and worked with everything from small 2-person startups here in the province through to some of the largest companies in the world. Along the way, we've done some great things like training thousands of Albertans, producing a lot of great world-leading research, really putting Alberta on the map for artificial intelligence and machine learning, and doing some fun things like creating an entire new category at the Junos for artificial intelligence and music. And a big question is like, hey, that's great. So we lead the world in artificial intelligence. Well, why does this matter? Well, if you look at a recent report by McKinsey, generative AI, which is a subsection of AI, is expected to drive $4.4 trillion a year globally going forward. So huge economic opportunity, and incredible opportunity for the regions that decide to take advantage of it. And things like software development, it's ramping up the ability and the efficiency there by things like 44%. For groups that have heavy customer service integration, having a 40% customer lift on customer service. And something that should be near and dear to every Canadian's heart, because it's something that we struggle with, is a 10% increase in productivity. And a country that's struggling with productivity gap, this is incredibly important. At the same time, there's a challenge because we lead in this, but Alberta companies are lagging in the adoption of AI. So the US leads the world with 14% of their companies leveraging AI in what they do. Alberta, we're at 3%. We're almost half of what Quebec companies are the number of Quebec companies investing in artificial intelligence. And so in a world, and this is never mind, countries like China that are investing like crazy to be the world leaders in this. And this should be scary to us, because the big challenge in AI is that gap grows really fast. And what seems like a little piece at the start compounds really quickly. And so similar to how coming out of a lot of things in the pandemic, we saw K-shaped recoveries in regions, where regions that were able to get out of it, get back to business quickly, recovered quickly. They had more businesses open. That led to more people coming in, moving to their region. That led to more businesses opening. And that lead grew really quick. And the places that didn't struggled really quickly. We're seeing the exact same thing play out in companies around artificial intelligence, where the companies who are making even a little bit of investment early on are very quickly gaining an advantage over their competitors. They get a little productivity advantage, which gives them a little bit of a customer advantage, gives them a little bit of a data advantage, and that gap grows extremely quickly. And so the challenge for us as Alberta is that we have this incredible opportunity that got invested in by the Klein government back in 2002. So we have a decades-old investment, and we've continued to lead in the area, and now's our opportunity to take advantage of it. And it might seem like this really kind of abstract thing, AI, and like the first thing you read is like Terminators or like ChatGPT writing your homework for you, and that's what everybody thinks about when it comes to AI. I'm going to talk just really, really quickly about some examples of AI projects that we've worked on and that we've partnered with. So without getting into all the details, you can think of there's 3 types of machine learning. I use the terms machine learning and AI synonymously. One of my profs, I'm sure, would get mad at me about that. But there's 3 types of machine learning: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. So supervised learning uses patterns and data and labels to be able to predict things. Is this a unicorn or a dog? I think it looks like a unicorn to me, but the algorithm got it right. It's a dog. So you have labeled data to be able to make predictions about things. And this can do things like classify mosquitoes to be able to very quickly make decisions about damage that may come to crops or to livestock in an area. Preventing. We worked with an agriculture company out of Saskatchewan that was very quickly flying over and identified disease in crop areas to be able to quickly target that and deal with it and have a massive reduction in crop loss in the area. There's a company here in town called Honest Store, great website, that does a daily price estimate for each of the properties on their site. So these are simple things. These aren't, the Terminator is kind of the scary things that you think about or get talked about in AI. These are real things driving real business value and are driving meaningful competitive advantage for the companies that use it. Another area, unsupervised learning, is looking for patterns in data. So you can think about this. This is what's recommending books and movies on things like Netflix and Amazon to you right now. What are clusters of data and what are things similar to that? And again, we're seeing this in things like security, where companies are using this to say, this is normal activity, what's outside of normal activity? So now we can identify just the specific use cases or just the specific incidents that we should care about. Things like predictive maintenance, what's outside of normal that we should be keeping an eye on? Again, companies that are able to leverage this to be able to spend time on just the things that are outside the norm, to be able to do that predictive maintenance piece, end up with a lead. Use this for things like projects around preventing wildfires, which I hope is, unfortunately, a thing that everybody should care about. We're really hoping that we're going to have an impact on what the next summer looks like. And then the last area, so this is an area that's pioneered by Rich Sutton, who was one of the people that we brought here back in 2002 as part of that investment. So we're global leaders in this area, and we've seen incredible industrial opportunities here with things like optimizing water treatment, both in reducing the amount of chemicals needed, reducing the amount of energy needed to treat water, and enabling things like water treatment to be in rural areas and have an impact on a lot of areas that still have boil water advisories. This is a project we did with a company in Calgary called Adabotics, which we do a throughput optimization using reinforcement learning, and enabled them to be great partners for Canadian Tire and Intel. And using this as a human in the loop piece, where a company that we worked with called Kuva is able to use this system to identify methane leaks and send just the specific incidents to have a human review, rather than having a human have to watch and review all the video coming through their system. Massive ability to scale what they're doing, have an impact on methane emission reduction, and then also have a big competitive advantage over their competitors. And so we always talk about, there's 5 ways, the 5 Ps of machine learning. Project, produce, prevent, promote, and personalize is the ways that companies leverage AI to be able to drive value in what they're doing. And I would encourage everyone to think about what are those 5 ways in their business that they can use these 5 things to be able to enable competitive advantage for themselves. And this last thing, you'll hear a lot about generative AI in the news these days. ChatGPT is the thing that everybody seems to be talking about. And really, it's just algorithms that create content like images and text and video from large swaths of data online. So it's can be fun things like a beautiful sunset with a cow standing on a bench and the Milky Way galaxy made out of Cheerios in the sky. I don't think that picture exists anywhere in the world, except for in our slide presentation now, which was generated by an algorithm. Pretty cool, fun, might be fun for advertising. So some interesting opportunities there. And really all this is just the building on top of a long amount of work and research in machine learning. And all these things are basically just predicting what the next word that comes along the way is. So the Edmonton Oilers win the Stanley Cup. We'll see if it's a predictor or purely guesswork. The really interesting thing that's happened in the recent evolution of these systems is they're able to generate a lot larger amounts of text that are really meaningful and make a lot of sense, although they still do have some fun things along the way, like making stuff up that might make sense in the context of the paragraph, but don't actually mean anything in real life. I don't think that they're going to add confetti to all the new goal celebrations next year. The cool thing about this technology is we're seeing a lot on the personalized side, and whether it's companies being able to leverage this for far better customer support and customer interaction, through to really exciting things like having a tutor in every student's pocket to be able to personalize the education path for them and help them with the specific challenges that they're hitting along the way. So a lot of exciting things. This is really new and early. A lot of exciting things to come. And again, we're at the forefront of this in Alberta. We have a chance to be the place in the world that leads and takes advantage of the business value in that if we decide to do so. So where do we go from here? My challenge to everyone in Alberta, every time I talk to a group in Edmonton and Alberta, is let's lead. Let's be a little less Canadian, maybe a little less humble, a little less Albertan. We're very down to earth, but let's lead. Let's take advantage of this opportunity. And I'll invite you to two. One is Upper Bound in May. We run a conference every year that brings together thousands of people across AI, from people who have never done anything with AI at all before, through to some of the top AI people in the world, and talking about both what is happening in industry, what's happening in research, and what startups, small businesses, investors, government, what all these groups are doing to leverage AI and what they're doing. We had 3,000 people at it last year. We expect to have 5,000 people out this year. We'd love to have everyone here. The second one is we believe that AI literacy is the most important thing for executives and boards as they're trying to navigate this right now. And we're running a very specific course and series around running an AI Executive Summit for those groups to be able to get together and learn together about the opportunities that there are in AI. And I invite everybody to join us at that Executive Summit in the coming months and heading into Upper Bound. With that, would love to connect. Please reach out at any time. Would love to talk to you more about my favorite subject, AI. And I'll just leave you with like this. We've invested in this for decades as a province. Let's take advantage of it and let's lead. Thanks.